Well, hello, my name is Chris Oppenheimer, and this is Real, Raw, and Authentic, and we are on our second episode, and I'm really happy about what we're doing because at Real, Raw, and Authentic, it's really, for me, about going back into my life and meeting with friends that have stories that really could inspire other people. And I always say, will it move, touch, and inspire other people? And that's up for the viewers to decide. And last week we had my parents, and Linda, Rudy, you've known my parents is a long time. In fact, we've known each other now for
like 35 years.
35 years. I'm 51 years old. I mean, y'all are like big brother, big sister to me. You guys have 3 amazing sons, and you have how many grandchildren
4
now?
grandchildren.
4 grandchildren, awesome. And Rudy's always been an outdoors guy, always been doing landscape, phenomenal at that. Linda, you were in the cosmetic industry for many years, alongside my mother and amazing, great women. And you raised your family with God first, family second, and career third.
Correct.
And, you know, those are values that we really want to instill back into the family. But why we're at Real, Raw, and Authentic, before we get started, Rudy and Linda, do I have your permission to have a real conversation and not have any fluff and just be real with people about where we were and what we've been through?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always want to help people.
Absolutely. And you know, I always say the best part of healing is when you can begin to help other people. And I believe that what we're doing at Real, Raw, and Authentic is we're showing people views that they may not have ever seen otherwise. So thank you, Linda and Rudy, for being here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about cancer. We're going to talk a little bit about suicide and depression as well, and how it all goes full circle in our lives. And you know, it's no secret that I had an addiction myself, and my journey was getting to the root of the problem and realizing that it was nothing more than me being pure with who I am for humanity. And I know that every person struggles through that. And you know, I will never forget the day that I called Linda, and you guys happened to be in California at the time, is that correct?
Yes, that's
we were in
correct.
LA.
And I was this excited young guy. This was what, 2008, 2000 and what was it?
2012.
2012. I got excited. I was part of a nutrition company. I was, you know, had my own battle with addiction, coming out, all that kind of stuff. And I was in a really good place, and I was just excited. And I knew that Rudy had cancer, and he had struggled, and he did chemo, and he got into remission, and then he got very depressed. And I didn't know what was really going on in your life. I was simply calling to share with you about how I was cleansing the toxins out of my body, balancing the hormones and pH, and building my body back up. And by the way, we've got to cleanse toxic relationships out of our lives. We've got to balance our family lives, and we've got to start building up people around us. And I believe that the best way to build people up is through our own personal stories and journeys. And so I made that call to Linda. She answered the phone. I was sharing with her what I was excited about and share what was going on in your world in California at that moment.
You wanna?
Well, go and start. Yeah, go ahead.
So I answered, and I told Rudy, it's Chris. And Rudy and I were in a midst of a very heavy discussion because Rudy was wanting to end his life. He told me he was tired of living the way he was living, and he'll end up sharing more of his story in a bit. But Chris told me, Linda, I don't care how you get Rudy on the plane, get him back on the plane, come back to San Antonio. I've got some products that can really help. He needs to detox his body, balance it, rebuild it. I didn't know what all that meant at the time. I had been in a cosmetic industry at that time for over 20 years. But I've always, Rudy and I have always respected and admired the Oppenheimers. And so when Chris told me to do that, I said, okay. And I told Rudy, Chris said, just come home and he's going to have a talk with us. And he's got some products that can really help. And I didn't understand when he said whole food supplements. I was like, okay, what does all that mean? But we did it, we came home, and I'm gonna let Rudy share what was going on in his head, because this is my version of, you know, I was the person not going through the depression. I was the person trying to handle and correct the situation, which I knew at that point I couldn't.
Well, yeah, it was back in LA. We just had a disagreement. I lost it.
Yeah, you lost it.
I lost it.
What did you lose? See, because Rudy, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. I'm simply your friend that's had experiences, and I've had the same kind of experiences, but the story you shared with me is you were in LA and you took yourself to the deep, dark part of LA. Because you were at an event with your wife. It was supposed to be a beautiful event. Rudy skipped off and did his own thing, and that's what we as addicts do. We get ourselves in a position so that we can skip off and do what we want to do, but you were very, very depressed.
I don't know if you can say I skipped off. Like I said, we had a disagreement. I was invited to an event, and I took it to the next level.
You weren't invited to an event?
They were going out to eat, and I wasn't invited to go eat. That's the way I looked at it. When that happened, I lost it.
Wow.
So I decided to go out in the streets, and I wanted to go play.
So let me just back up, because it was simply somebody not inviting you to dinner, and it was your personal feeling, and I see a tear rolling down your eye. I mean, how many people are out there right now listening to this that they've had something happen in their life and they feel like they don't fit in? And that's usually what addicts are, is we feel like we don't fit in. We're smart, we're intelligent, we know the right and wrong things to do, but you found yourself in a really, really bad situation. Explain what that's like, because you know there's a lot of people out there that could judge and say, oh, how, you know, depression, it's no big deal, or you know, to you it's a big deal, to me it's a big deal, to a lot of people it is, but until we've experienced it and seen it firsthand. Linda, you've never experienced anything like that before, right?
No.
I know, but how did it make you feel to see him like that?
Well, this, you know, the behaviors had been going on for quite some time in our marriage, and so I was already like frustrated and tired, and used some of my, I guess, tactics that you learn when you're trying to think positive. I'm like, you know, go for a walk, you know, go do this, and you know, da 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 da, and but so it was very frustrating. It was very scary at times, because this is not the first time he had actually just like picked up and left, and he would leave all his stuff behind, and then I'm like, I can't call him because he's leaving his phone behind. I can't, well, if something happens to him, he left his wallet behind. So he used to do those things that would cause fear in me. And so that's what was going on in my mind. And then of course I was embarrassed. You know, we were at a company function and he was in his own world, but you know, he's not understanding, you know, he's not thinking of an embarrassment. He's feeling hurt, he's feeling left out. So
what happened? What did you do in LA? So
Well,
you wanted to commit suicide. You were in a place where you were done.
I was just tired of, and it didn't matter what I did. Everything I did, it was always wrong. I felt like I wasn't being part of society. And that night, I remember, you know, all of a sudden, you know, everybody's gone and enjoying a good meal, and I'm by myself. Matter of fact, it happened to have been the night the Spurs were playing, and they went to overtime and they lost, so that pissed me off even more. So
A Spurs game.
So I turned around and I decided we were in West LA, and I was told it's a bad part of town, that everything in that part of town closes between 10 and 11 o'clock. Everything, include the bars. But I was in a bad place, and I wanted to play, and I wanted to play with the devil. So the first thing I did is I took a walked into a grocery store, and I bought a knife. And I wanted to play. So I started going to bars, started drinking, and then I'm just looking for trouble. I was looking for somebody to tell me the wrong thing, so I can stab him. And I turned around and I walked out of the bar after they closed, and nobody would challenge me or greet me or anything, so I was getting more pissed off. So I went out to a field where there's some guys were playing soccer, and you can tell it was a bad part of town. Lights were barely on, homeless people laid all over the floor, and I'm walking down this tunnel and I see a guy coming, and I said, this is my victim right here. And I turned around and got my knife ready, and the guy he greets me, and he keeps on walking. And he pissed me off. What do you mean? You're telling me hi? I didn't want to hear hi. I want to hear something. I wanted a reason to stab this guy. So I turned around. That didn't happen. So I walked around, and finally I found another bar. It was just getting ready to close, so I had a couple of beers in there right quick. And I said, I need to find somebody I can hurt besides me. So I walked down the dark alley. And while we're there, the grocery stores, they close. They sell alcohol to about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, so I bought me some more beer. And started drinking, and finally after I finished that, went back to the room, knocked on the door, tried to get in the door. She had the door locked, which really pissed me off. That's it, I'm done. You know, over something minute that I thought was minute, you know. And finally after 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I walked in, and she turns around and she starts calling everybody. Supposedly everybody's out there looking for me, which I don't think they were, but she said they were.
They were.
They were.
And they were. LA, when the hell are they gonna find me? You know, I'm in a big old city, you know.
I know you left your phone, you left your wallet.
Yeah.
How are they going to find you?
No, I have my wallet with me. I left my jewelry stuff behind. LA's a bad city, man. I didn't want to get robbed.
You had taken out you left your driver's license. If it wasn't your wallet, I remember you left everything behind.
I don't remember
Crazy.
that. I was in a dark place.
So what changed?
You?
I didn't change.
No, that phone call changed my life. Because I was done. I was done. I was coming back home to say goodbye. I was done. Didn't matter what I did. It was wrong. So I was tired. I'm done. Coming home to say goodbye. And I remember you turned around and told Linda there's nothing wrong with him. It's a chemical imbalance. We just got to get the toxins out of his body, just balance them out. And I remember we just got into the business with you, but I wasn't taking the products. What the hell for, you know? Not until that incident in LA, I said, you know what? Okay, God, I'm going to give you another shot. Put these products in front of me, and if it's meant to be, you'll heal me, and if not, I'll see you soon. And you put me on a journey that I would never forget.
Well, thank you for being open to being on the journey.
You know, we're just out there touching lives, because there's a lot of sick people. There's nothing wrong with it. We're just, our food, our air, everything we have is bad. And that's like when we were kids. You can eat and drink whatever, and you were okay. It's not like that anymore. We're in a different world. You know, we're fighting a disease. Look what we're in now with this pandemic. You know, but are we scared or worried about it? No, man, because we're healthy. Everybody's getting shots and this and that. I'm not getting a shot. What's for, man? I'm healthy. Last year I was told I had COVID. I was asymptomatic. My body fought it off because my body does what it's supposed to do. It was fighting the infections, whatever. It was protecting me.
Rudy, it's powerful to hear you talk like this, because 15 years ago, Linda, he didn't want anything to do with any nutrition or anything. And,
I didn't.
And like I said, you're a health coach. I'm not even a health coach, but I've learned enough in my life, and that's why I started Real Raw and Authentic, is because it's just the simple little choices that we make that can make all the difference in the world. Mm-hmm. It's not a medication. We're not deficient of any medication. We're not deficient of Tylenol. We're not deficient. of anything other than the nutrients and micronutrients that are in the plants that were planted on this earth, Genesis 1:29, for the healing and nourishment of our body. And we went on that health journey, and the company was amazing and we did very well, but over time people go their own ways, like all of us have. And that's what we're supposed to do in life. We learn lessons, we move on, and we go move, touch, and inspire more people. And Rudy, what you just shared is going to touch so many people's lives, because there's somebody right now sitting out there in their addiction feeling like they have nobody to talk to. And even though they may not have anybody to talk to, somebody knows somebody they can share this podcast with. And
call me.
call me. That's what we're here for.
Be more glad
come
to share.
talk to us.
In a situation.
We invite you, because that's what we're supposed to do as humanity. Because no matter what your religion or what your beliefs are, all the beliefs go around love. And if we just take love and go help another human being, we've done our part. And Linda, through this journey, you became a health coach.
Yeah, so I love him so much that 3 months after, improving our diet and adding whole food supplements, he got off all his medications and has been medication free for now, it's going to be 10 years. So it led me to resigning from my leadership position in the cosmetic world, and I went to pursue health and wellness. In my mid-50s, got a certification to be a holistic health coach, working one person at a time to help them learn about the body, and really educating the body that our bodies were meant for plant-based foods, and whole food supplements help because we don't always eat those plant-based foods. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I'm really proud of Rudy. He's come a long ways in his thinking, and as you heard, he is now, medication free, and coming from that diagnosis in 2008 of saying he was bipolar. This is pretty huge.
So you've been told through the medical community that you've had cancer, you've conquered that. You did that with chemo, though, correct?
The first time.
Yeah, the second time, we didn't even talk about that.
Well, yeah, second time was even better because, I got diagnosed about 2.5 years ago again, and we saw my oncologist, and he asked me, was I going to do chemo again? I said, no. He goes, why not? I said, we're going to try the holistic way. There's other ways in beating chemo the healthy way without putting out the poison. I didn't want to go through what I did that last time. I got sick.
So how'd you beat cancer the second time if you didn't take chemo?
Just proper eating and nutrition, and letting the body do what the body does best, is heal itself. Very cool. But you got to put the best. You got to put the best products in your body, and I truly believe we're there. We're there.
Yeah, it's getting back to nature, soil, the plants, getting people back to their community.
We're educated. You got to educate yourself. My sister and I bump heads a lot, but she tells me, how come I'm being stubborn, not getting the shot, this and that. I said, I'm not sick like you guys. Or as sick, should I say. My body can fight for itself and heal itself.
That's definitely a different view than what a lot of people hear. And I concur with you on that, because I believe that we are healthy human beings and we were born with an immune system. But Rudy, as we end this podcast, there's a lot of people out there listening. What is your message to somebody that's struggling, that's maybe been through chemo, cancer, now they're depression, they're on all these medications? What is your best advice, knowing what you've been through? What words of wisdom would you give another human being to get through their time of darkness?
The first thing I would ask them to do is drop to their knees. Because without God, we're dead. I truly believe that. As a good, strong Catholic man, my faith is in the Lord. He saved me so many times. I literally cheated death over 10, 15 times. I shouldn't be here.
So why are you here?
God's got a purpose for me. This is what I've been told. I'm on a journey right now that God's put me on, and He's not ready for me yet.
So what would you tell a person out there listening? that's going through what you've been through, give them hope, what would it be?
Open up your heart. You know, because Chris Oppenheimer would just walk by and give you an advice and take it to heart, you know, and just be grateful that God still has you around. He's preparing you for something. Just don't give up. It's easy to put a gun to your head and pull the trigger. It's easy to hurt yourself. When you fall down, is how do you get up? And when you get up, what are you going to do? I've been blessed to have family, you, my wife, my community at church. There's one thing I don't do. I don't hide who I am. And I tell my story because somebody out there needs to hear what I've been through.
Our boys know everything.
Yeah, that's one thing when my boys got old enough, I told them who their dad was.
Well, and that's what Real Raw and Authentic is all about. It's time for people to be real like that because people have slid so much under the rug through the years. And I just really appreciate you guys opening up your hearts and sharing your story. And thank you for who you are in my life. And I just know that, Rudy, you're going to inspire a lot of people. And thank you for being willing to share your darkest, deepest moments so that it can be a light for another human being. And that's what we do at Real Raw and Authentic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda and Rudy.
No, you're welcome.
We're
Like I
all
said-
broken.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
We're all
yeah.
broken people.
Yeah, like I said, who am I? I'm an addict. I'm an ex-con. The Lord's still up there with his arms wide open telling me, come home. You know, I can
And I
say
don't judge you. I still grant you grace. And there's a lot of people that have a lot of judgment, and we're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
And that's really why I started this podcast. I am so tired of people just saying what people want to hear. I want people to get real, raw, and authentic. And thank you for being exactly that for us today.
You're
And I
welcome.
encourage anybody that's ready to start sharing from the heart, like Linda and Rudy, bring it. Let's make a difference in the world at Real, Raw, and Authentic. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.